Rory Crawford, welcome to UK Fight Site. It's good to see you again, mate. Saw you recently down at your massive show at the York Hall. I was about to say the Indigo there, but
Yeah.
the iconic York Hall. Just before we get into things, just want to do a recap of Combat Fight Series at York Hall, the show. Combat Fight Series 13.
Yep, that was number 13. So that was our second time at York Hall, and another good show. You know, I'm still sort of going back to the fight footage now, and still getting a lot of good positive feedback, which is great. But some great fights on there, really good fights.
Yeah, I think a good show is an understatement. It was an amazing show, top to bottom, from the opening bell. I can't really pinpoint a fight that I wasn't invested in watching it. Let's just talk about some of the highlights of the night, starting off from the main event with Reon and Ciaran.
Yeah.
What was your opinion on that fight?
Yeah, it was always an interesting fight because Reon obviously comes from a kickboxing background. So I believe that was only his second A-class fight, Reon. So it was always an interesting fight. People wanted to see how he transitioned into Thai boxing. Ciaran is a very good Thai boxer, in my opinion. So it's a tough test for Reon, and two different styles. So it was interesting, and I was intrigued before the bell went, and I thought it was a good fight, really good back and forth. Both guys, you know, showed a lot of heart, a lot of skill in different areas, and it turned out to be a good fight, in my opinion.
Any plans to have them back in the future?
Yeah, we've got something lined up, so I won't say too much. Reon's obviously regular on CFS. Yeah. He's a crowd favourite. Good fighter, Reon. Got a lot of time and respect for Reon, and we love having him on. So, yeah, we've got some stuff in the pipeline. I'd like to get both of them back on, if I'm being truthful. It's the first time we had Ciaran on, but I've always rated Ciaran as a fighter, a lot of respect for him as a fighter. So yeah, you'll just have to sort of wait and see.
Yeah. Also, Alfie tore the place down. My first time seeing Alfie fight, he comes out like a buzzsaw. It was wild. Can you tell me, what you thought about his performance and what his future looks like on Combat Fight Series?
Yeah, Alfie for me, he's probably one of my favourites at the moment. If I'm being honest, I probably shouldn't say that as a promoter. I'm being a little bit, biased, but I'll just speak the truth. I saw from early on with Alfie, we've had him on 4 times now, I believe, and we had him on when he was just a couple of fights in. And sometimes you can just tell with certain fighters, this kid's got a big future, and we've been proved right. He's stood up to the test every time. I believe he's gone 12-0 now, so he's still unbeaten. And he had a tough test in Ica from Spain, and yeah, it just absolutely put it on him from round 1 until we got the stoppage in round 3. So it's exciting times for Alfie. There's a lot of good potential fights for him at that weight. So yeah, very excited to see what we can do next with him.
Yeah, definitely can't wait to see him back in there. One of the standouts for me, and I was really looking forward to it, always looking forward to watching her compete, Alex Rose versus Sonia Din. Brilliant performance again from Alex, and she's one of those, she's a highlight of a Combat Fight Series card. Can you talk to me about that fight and, where you see the future for Alex? And
yeah, so I just mentioned there about Alfie being one of my favourites, and Alex is actually one of my favourite females at the moment, and another undefeated fighter. I believe that took her to 6-0. Sonia was more experienced than Alex and been in there with some good girls, so it was a tough test for Alex, and that was for a WBC European title. And I just thought she was dominant from round 1 to the end, a unanimous decision, fought really well, and just another one that just seems to be getting better and better every fight. You're just seeing her that extra percent, every time, and there's some good potential matchups for Alex, and you will see her on July the 8th card as well.
That's great news. A little known fact is that she was actually behind the design of my logo.
I don't know this story.
She's a designer and things like that. So I saw the work that she did for with her partner James for his academy, and I reached out to her for my logo. Super happy with that. another one that really stood out for me was Tom Kirk, which was his pro debut, I believe.
Yep.
And you've been doing some work with Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you give us a little rundown of how you started working with him and what you thought of his performance?
Yeah, so Tom, I believe, we've been working with each other for about 18 months now. And yeah, Frank has done a great job with him, and obviously still plays a big part in his training. And he started coming down to Kettles a little bit for some pads and sparring. So I took over a little bit of training, and he's a good lad, Tom. He's just a pure example of just hard work. He just comes in. He does, very easy to coach, very easy to train, soaks everything up, listens. So he's a pleasure to train. Strong kid, really strong kid. And this was another tough test for him for his pro debut. Silvano is a good fighter. He's a very good fighter. So we knew it'd be a tough test, and I thought, he done well, Tom. He done well for his pro debut. He obviously got dropped in the first round, but then come straight back. And yeah, the second round, just absolutely sort of done what we know Tom can do.
Yeah, and he brought a really vocal fan base with him. They was with it the whole way through that fight. That was definitely added to the atmosphere on the night. Some guys I was really excited that you had on the card was the Assassins guys. So you had Ty Barlow and George Griffiths. George, brilliant performance. How familiar were you with George coming into this? Obviously, I've seen him before. I think I've seen him before on the Muay Thai Grand Prix. I think it's where I saw him compete. But
yeah, do you know what? That's the first time I've seen George fight. If I'm being honest, yeah, I obviously looked up a little bit on him, but I thought he done really well. He's a strong kid. Ty and Iman I know quite well, and their dad Mark, great guys. Very, very good fighters. So I knew that he'd be good. But that was the first time I got to see him live, and I was impressed with him because his opponent Reese is a good fighter from Nemesis Gym. So we knew it'd be a close fight. It was very evenly matched, and I thought he'd come in. He was very strong from round one and put on a really good show.
Yeah. Do you think we could see the guys back on?
Yeah, love to get them back on. To get them back on. I thought Ty's fight was very, very good as well. Really close fight against a really good opponent in Ruben. Yeah. That's the second time we've had Ruben on, but yeah, he's a strong fighter for sure, but very, very nice to watch as well. Good technical fight, very good back and forth.
Yeah. Sam Wells and Andy Manzola. What was your opinions on that?
Yeah, trained a little bit with Sam when I was fighting, so I know how strong he is, and he's a strong lad. Hits really hard, and I thought he started really well. And I thought this could be it for Andy. I could see a stoppage coming on. But yeah, he just seemed to weather the storm, Andy, and then come back strong in the second, I believe, and managed to get the finish in the second.
What's your feedback on that fight and Josh? His skills.
Yeah, got a lot of time for Josh. I think he's got a big future there. This is the third time I think we've had him on, and I'm pretty sure two of them have been finishes. So I know he can punch hard. He can bang for sure. And he had a tough opponent in Kev because he's quite unorthodox. His style. So it was interesting to see how he was going to suit that. But I thought he showed a lot of experience beyond what he already has. He picked his moment, and his timing was spot on for that right hand. Set it up lovely. I think he feinted and then threw the right hand. So he didn't come in rushing. He took his time. He was patient, and he obviously knows what he's capable of doing with them hands. Because as soon as he landed that, there was no way he was getting back up from that.
There was a lot of young talent on the undercard. Phoebe from Nemesis Gym, she really stood out for me. Just really so composed the whole night. What did you think of her performance? And
exactly the same. She stood out for me, and that goes to show with the junior experience, the composed sort of style you can see, because it was only her second C-class fight. So she's got the junior experience, which showed, I believe, there. You can see how calm and relaxed she was, and it looked like she's really enjoyed it in there, and it showed in her performance. But I was really impressed with Phoebe, really impressed. So hopefully you'll see her again July the 8th.
No, definitely look forward to seeing her back in there. One of the a crazy bout of the night, and a crazy performance. And I'll be honest with you, really not familiar with him. All real J Dot. And I think that's what really caught my eye. Obviously, I was at the weigh-ins the day before, but what caught my eye is I think one of the guys next to me kind of nudged me and was just like, "What's up with his name?" And I didn't know his background. So he's from like the YouTube world.
Yeah, I believe he's an artist, rap artist.
Right.
So yeah, I believe that's just the name he likes to go by.
Yeah.
But he's from Minotaur's gym, trained by Lewis.
Yeah.
A really good gym, and in my opinion, actually one of the best trainers around.
Yeah.
Lewis, really good trainer. So knew he'd be well schooled. Seen a little bit of him before, but he's still relatively new-ish.
Yeah.
Only a couple of fights in. But yeah, he's definitely got something about him. He's got charisma, and he can back it up as well. The guy can fight as well, for sure.
Yeah, he had a fan base right at the front that was going crazy for him. I was just really surprised because I didn't really know where he come from, and that fight just kind of caught me off guard. That was a crazy one. There was a few knockdowns in there.
Well, it started really fast.
Yeah.
They did start fast, and I thought, right, I don't think they're going to be able to keep this up for that long. But you know, they did, and he got a couple of knockdowns as well. Yeah. So yeah, definitely one to watch. Yeah. Definitely one to watch.
The last one on the undercard, I just wanted to ask you about a fight I really enjoyed. Dina Jason and Celia Isabel. That was fairly early in the night too, and that was a great way to kick things off. Your opinion on that fight?
Yeah, I actually commentated on that.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I got to commentate on a few of the fights at the beginning, so I come in a little bit late. I think I come in on the second round, but you know, good even matchup. Both girls, I think, sort of knew of each other as well. But yeah, actually watching that back, I didn't know if they was a little bit more suited to K1 watching it back. But yeah, I thought it was a good bout, good back and forth. Both girls come to fight for sure. I just think Dina had the sort of stronger hands, I would say, and a little bit more aggressive and pushed her back a little bit more. But yeah, good even matchup. Hopefully both girls can come back on.
Brilliant.